Etsy's a two-sided marketplace, and that means the marketplace gets better as it gets bigger. And that's true of our democracy, and it's true of civil society.
You might have already seen, but I shared a little glimpse at what has been going on in this shop, and it has absolutely blown up.
In January, my shop had about 15,000 visits, 383 orders, and a 2.5% conversion rate, and I made about $7,800.
Sounds great, but if it's that easy, why the hell isn't everyone doing it? Because in reality, it might not be, but we'll check that in today's video. Etsy launched in 2005 as a fresh space for makers and small businesses. It was a revolutionary idea. Now, 20 years later, has it stayed true to that vision? For me, Etsy feels more like Temu now than a handmade marketplace it once was. But hey, that's just my opinion. So let's dig in and see if that is the case. So what's the plan? Pretty simple really. The goal is straightforward, make some extra cash. The challenge? Time. None of us have a lot of it nowadays, so whatever we create has to be simple, easy, and still creative. Sounds tricky, but trust me, it's not. Now, what are we actually selling? Here's the strategy. Start small and focused with your first product. Aim your second at businesses, and make your third appeal to a much wider audience. That way, you cover different markets and give yourself the best chance to succeed. It's finally time to get our hands dirty. This project's a gamer door hanger, and from what I've seen, the gaming niche on Etsy isn't as crowded as others, and that could be a real opportunity. This project is quick, customizable, easy to ship, and I can make it with tools I already own. My 3D printer costs less than a budget table saw, yet it does have to work on its own. The hanger base needs something different. Plywood works perfectly. It's easy to cut and inexpensive. The pile was free from a friend, which makes it even better. And even if I had to buy some, it's still much cheaper than solid wood. At this stage, I'm working with a simple template. Just the hanger shape printed on a regular home printer. Templates like this make it much easier to keep everything consistent and accurate. I'll fix it onto the plywood using some masking tape and a bit of contact glue. The glue holds the paper firmly in place, and when I'm done, masking tape will peel away cleanly without leaving any residue. Cutting it to shape is simple. Use a bandsaw or a scroll saw if you got them, or just hand tools if you haven't invested yet. Then give it a sand with fine grit paper for a clean quality finish. For the next minute I'll let the sands off the tools to do the talking, so you can just sit back and enjoy the process. finally time to put everything together. I'm applying a small amount of CA glue to the mirrored 3D print, hoping to transfer the entire design onto the wooden base in one go. That way I can avoid placing each element individually and keep the process quick and accurate. Now, everything seemed fine until I tried hanging it on a door handle. The design based on others I'd seen on Etsy doesn't actually work here in the UK. Since our doors are open inward, the hanger gets trapped against the wooden lip. Surprising that no one else has picked up on this. There was really no other choice but to come up with a slimmer design. I'm not going to take you through the entire process again, but I'll show you the end result. And this time it actually worked. On top of that, I went ahead and created a second version as well. Having two different designs not only solves the problem, but also gives us a variety and a better chance of making this project a success. It's finally time to get the shop up and running, but there is one more hoop to jump through, and it's something I really didn't expect. When you open an Etsy shop for the first time, they hit you with a £15 fee. What it actually goes toward, I have no idea. For some people, that could be a real deal breaker. As for me, I've came too far to stop now, so I'll pay it. Not happily, but I'll pay it. While you were watching me set things up, I also managed to make two more designs. A simple table reservation stand aimed at businesses, and a personalized key hanger that works perfectly as a gift, or for everyday use at home. Product photos need to be good quality. People buy with their eyes. You don't need a fancy camera for that. iPhone will do. Just be creative. Pricing can be tricky. Sure, you can charge whatever you like, but the real question is whether people will actually pay it. The best approach is to stay reasonable. Consider what similar products sell for on Etsy, how long it takes you to make each item, your material cost, and the cost of packaging. Since I'm testing this platform and my material costs are very low, I'm pricing all my products at $9.49. I think that's a fair price for a handmade item these days. And here we are. The shop's been live for 2 weeks. And no surprises, nothing has sold yet. But that doesn't mean it won't in the future. I'll be sharing my Etsy stats with you once a month, so make sure to subscribe if you want to follow along. Now let's talk about the whole process and whether I'd actually recommend Etsy as a main source of income. Opening a shop took a lot of planning and research, which is never a bad thing, because it teaches you how these platforms really work. And when the sales do eventually come in, the reward feels even better. That said, there are some realities you can't ignore. Packaging and shipping are a big one. Here in the UK, sending out products like mine cost about £3 each, which quickly eats into your profit. And then there is the upfront fee. Etsy charged me £14 before I'd even start selling. Honestly, that was frustrating and could be a deal breaker for some people. So, the big question, can you actually make money on Etsy? I think yes, if you're creating high value, one-of-a-kind pieces that can't easily be copied. But for hobbyists like me, it's tough. The competition is huge, margins are small, and unless you produce at scale, you're only going to see a trickle of income. Would I recommend starting an Etsy shop? For most people, probably not. Etsy today feels much closer to eBay or Temu, full of cheap, mass-produced items. I'm not saying my products are perfect, but compared to some of what's out there, I'd argue they're worth the price I set. That's just my opinion. If you see it differently, drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching.